Are you looking for a mini shotgun mic for your small camera? Does your Android device have its camera and headphone jack on the same end of the phone, preventing you from using direct connect shotgun mics? If the answer to either of those questions is yes, I may have an answer. In this Gadget Talk video, we'll be talking about the Comica CVM VM10 mini shotgun microphone for small cameras and smartphones. The VM10 mic differs from the Comica CVM VS08 mini shotgun mic primarily in that it uses a small lyre-style shock mount with a cold shoe attachment instead of the 3.5mm plug that plugs directly into the jack, such as your smartphone's headphone jack. The technical specs for this mic versus the VS08 are identical, with the exception that this mic is reported to have a supercardioid pickup pattern, whereas the VS08 is listed as having a cardioid pattern. If you're using a smartphone with a camera and jack at the same end of the device, this mount allows you to get the mic out of the picture, as you might have seen in my review of the VS08. If you're using a small mirrorless camera or even a DSLR with a hot mic shoe mount, this little mic will provide you with improved audio over the notoriously tinny sounding mics found on many cameras, and all for about $50. Now I know you're thinking that, hey, my smartphone doesn't have a cold shoe mount. Well, that's right, but many hand grip stabilizers made for smartphones do, and they're cheap. See my review of the Amorden hand grip stabilizer as an example. I'll also link that product below. Let's take a look at what you'll get in the box and shoot some video with both a smartphone and a base level DSLR to let you hear what you can expect from this little mic. I won't do any processing. You'll be hearing directly what comes from the video file from the phone or camera. So here's what you'll get in the mail. Pretty typical retail packaging with some information about the mic printed on the sides. But what's important is inside, so let's take a look. So when you open the box, you'll find this nice little case. It's kind of a neoprene, rubbery kind of thing with the word Comica embossed on it. It's zippered up. And when you open it up, there's some Comica paperwork, warranty notice, that kind of thing. You've got the microphone itself, the microphone end, the plug attachment end down at this side. Otherwise, it looks very much like the VS08, except, of course, it doesn't have the plug coming out of the middle. The foam wind cover. The lyre-style shock mount with a cold shoe attachment there on the bottom. The furry wind cover, or the dead cat. A coiled attachment cord to connect to your smartphone or your camera. This one is the TRS version. You notice it's got two black rings, so you've got the tip, the ring, and the sleeve for this one. And then if your device, like a smartphone more in particular, would have that use this other cord that has the device for the microphone, which is TRS on this side, but then on this side it's got the TRRS, or tip ring sleeve type connection that your smartphone uses, because it has both the signal and the ground, and then it's got stereo, and it's got a microphone if you use your headset for your smartphone, so thus the extra rings on that tip. So the smartphone connector, and then the direct to a camera or to an audio recorder connector for this wire. So let's take a look at how you'd mount this onto your smartphone. I have my smartphone mounted in my hand grip stabilizer. because as I've mentioned before, your smartphone isn't going to have a cold shoe mount, but oftentimes the grips for these hand grip stabilizers, a smartphone attachment, does have a cold shoe mount on it, and that's certainly the case with this hand grip stabilizer from Immorden. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take and attach it to the lyre mount, which is just a matter of snapping these little rings over the back part of the microphone with a little bit of a gap there. We're going to slide it into the smartphone holder, the cold shoe, tighten the nut down, take the TRS side of this plug and plug it into the back of the microphone, and then take the TRRS side, since we're putting it into a smartphone, and plugging it into the smartphone. And so now we've got it all set up. Take a look at it here, facing you, so you can see. And so what I've got it facing now would be as if it were in selfie mode, if you were using the back camera and you're just pointing the microphone at yourself while you were doing some video blogging. And if you're using the rear-facing camera, you would just simply slide the cold shoe mount in with the microphone facing the back of the phone for that rear-facing camera, and then you'd be using your phone for the viewfinder and have the microphone facing forward. So it's just a matter of which camera on your smartphone you were planning to use. So it becomes a pretty compact shooting rig that with an external microphone ought to give you better sound than the phone's microphone by itself. As you can see, I've now got the VM10 connected to a DSLR camera, in this case a Nikon D3200, a basic level, entry-level kind of DSLR that is capable of shooting video. And so in this case, I've got it mounted to the cold shoe here on the top, the microphone facing forward. Then I'm using the black cord with both black ends. It's got a little tag here that says for camera, and I've got it plugged into the mic port of the DSLR. And so this would allow you, again, another fairly compact shooting alternative with a microphone that's going to probably hopefully turn out to be better than the microphone on this DSLR. The microphone for this camera are just 4 little dots drilled into the case, so it's buried there in the case. So this one's should give me some directionality. It should give me a better pickup and sound quality, and then it's got a little bit of a shock mount here, so it shouldn't generate a bunch of noise. So that's the mounting on a DSLR. Your little mirrorless camera, if it has a cold shoe, will go together in a very similar way. Now, another thing we need to talk briefly about are the 2 wind covers that come with the VM10. And so we've got it in the lyre mount. What I found with the VS08, and I'm anticipating with this one that the foam wind cover that just basically slides over the front of the microphone barrel like that is going to be used basically all the time. Calm days outside or indoors, it provides just a little bit of noise canceling that helps the mic to avoid winds and breezes and some of that kind of stuff. On a day with more of a breeze, you're going to want to use this dead cat style wind protector. And again, it just slides over the front of the microphone, get it as deeply seated as you can, and then you'll have it there. And the breeze then will blow through these little hairs, and the noise will be deadened so that it doesn't get to the microphone itself. So we'll give you a chance to hear that directly when we go outside and do some sample recordings. Okay, I'm out here outside, waited for a couple of days to get a little bit of a breeze that I've got right now. And so you see I've got the camera mounted in a hand grip stabilizer. I've got the lyre mount attached to the top of the cold shoe mount, and I've got a little bit of breeze blowing into the microphone through the dead cat. So let me change out the cover for the foam wind cover, and you can see how that might differ in sound. So here we've got that same amount of breeze coming through the foam wind cover, and we'll see how that sounds. You can just hear the sound of my voice with the overall quality of the microphone itself. And last but not least, just the raw microphone, or the naked microphone, if you will. The microphone is pointed into whatever little breeze there is, and so you get a chance to see, what a little breeze sounds like going over the face of the microphone capsule without either of the wind covers on it. And then last but not least, this is the phone's microphone by itself. The VM10 is completely disconnected, and we're just, hearing what the phone's microphone sounds like here in the same place with the same amount of breeze. In this shot, we're using the Nikon D3200, a basic entry-level DSLR with the VM10 mounted on the hot shoe mount on the camera. We've also got the dead cat mounted on the microphone. So this gives you a chance to hear what the microphone sounds in that kind of a situation. I'm about 4 feet from the microphone, and so here you can see the difference in the sound that you're going to get when you do audio from this distance with just a bit of a breeze blowing through the dead cat. Here's the same shot using the camera's little pinhole mic, so you get a chance to see the difference between the sound quality on the small pinhole camera mic versus the shotgun mic. In this case, again, I'm with the D3200 and the little VM10 shotgun mic. I'm standing much closer to the camera now. I'm only about 20 inches, maybe 18 inches from the microphone, and there's just a bit of a breeze blowing through the dead cat. I can see the hairs moving on it, so you can get a sense to the degree to which a breeze is canceled by the dead cat muff on this little microphone. I think you'll agree that the compact VM10 shotgun mic does a pretty good job in the selfie roll and ambient sound department. All shotgun mics lose dialogue quality when the speaker is more than a couple of feet from the mic, but for wide or crowd shots, it certainly beats both the cameras and the phone's onboard mics. The mic construction seems solid, and the included TRS and TRRS wires make connecting to your device easy. As with the VS08, the wind filters are a must. The dead cat does an admirable job of filtering out wind noise outside, and the foam wind cover should probably be used when indoors. All in all, I'm happy with this little guy. If you're the family photographer or an aspiring YouTube video blogger, you'll want to consider adding this little gadget to your toolkit. Hey, if you found this information helpful, please click the thumbs up button on the video and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel to be notified when I post new videos.